All right. Hello there, the Smiles Tribe. How y'all doing tonight on this lovely, it's Thursday night. Praise God. We made it through the week. So y'all come on up in the room. We got a good topic we're going to be talking about today. And y'all know this topic was inspired by one of my clients, something that kind of happened this week. So I was like, this is something that I probably should go live about because I know summertime is coming up. Y'all about to be getting these protective styles. Y'all about to be getting these braids, these twists, whatever it is, getting you an updo. So I'm going to let you know what you should be doing when you take down your protective style. But I didn't put this in the subject, but I'm also going to talk about some maintenance things you can do while you're having your protective style. Um, how to keep it up, what you should be doing even before you put it in protective style. So I just thought about that when I went live, and I probably should put all that in the topic. But if you came here and you watching the replay, you gonna get all the juice, okay? Because that's what I'm here to do, to educate you. Hey, Coach Haru, how you doing tonight? How you doing? How you doing? It's been a long day, very eventful day for me, but I made it through the day. So we here tonight to go live once again. We live, baby. We live. So I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about what you should be doing before you put in a protective style. So before you put in a protective style, first of all, we want to make sure that we're not having any kind of major hair issues, like major hair issues. And what I mean by major hair issues, I mean like making sure your hair is not like have like severe dryness. You know what I'm saying? Like chronic dry hair. Like I'm talking about if it's like brittle to the touch, it's like crunchy, crunch, crackety. We want to address that before we put in a protective style. If you're having some kind of scalp issues, if you having some balding or some alopecia, all of that needs to be addressed before you put in protective style. If you have split ends, that needs to be addressed before you put in a protective style. Because I have a YouTube short and I talked about this, so I'm going to expand more obviously in this video. And I said, if your hair is already unhealthy and you're putting in a quote unquote protective style, what are you protecting? Nothing, my friend. Nothing. You're just prolonging and making the damage worse for when you finally do take it out. So we need to make sure that the whole goal of a protective style is to protect our hair if it's in a healthy state. But if it's not in a healthy state, it makes no sense to go into a protective style. And let's just go back into why do we call it a protective style? Like some people just call it that just to call it that, but they ain't really protecting anything, okay? So let's make sure we go in with our hair healthy before we put it in. Now, I will give this disclaimer out there too. Now, sometimes I know because I used to braid hair a lot. I used to do box braids and stuff like that. I will say if you get a trim, I'm gonna put this out there. If you get a trim, like a real blunt cut before you put in box braids, I'm gonna tell you now, braiders are gonna probably be mad at you because your ends gonna be too blunt, too straight, and it's gonna make it harder for them to blend. And also, sometimes like they'll end up cutting your hair themselves because what happens is when they get ready to braid all the way down, and they got that little hair sticking out, they taking them scissors and they kind of like just kind of cutting it off. Now, I agree with that and disagree with that all at the same time. On the stylist side, we're looking at it as we're trying to give you a nice, clean, and polished look, so you won't work out the shop with hair sticking out. But also on the client side, I understand you're like, she cut my hair, she cut my hair, she cut my hair. So sometimes, depending on what you get, and it also depends on the cut because I have a client, she comes to me and she actually goes to my coworker to get braids. But the way how I trim her hair is I kind of trim it at a point so she won't have like very blunt ends. And I did it to help the braider out this in our building, so her ends won't be as blunt and she can still get braids and it'll still blend. So I was gonna go ahead and put that disclaimer out there. If you then this only applies like if you're getting like box braids, like the individual box braids. But if you're getting like crochet braids, this ain't gonna even gonna matter because all your natural hair gonna be braided in. So I just want to say that. So yeah, make sure you address getting those ends trimmed. Oh, and I also was gonna say sometimes like if they're not too bad, you can kind of maybe wait. Now this doesn't apply to everybody. I will only say this would apply to if you get an individual box braids, or if you can tell your stylist, whoever's trimming your hair, like, look, I'm getting box braids, so can you kind of cut them, trim my ends at a point so I won't have very blunt ends. You kind of want your ends to be a little feathered, like a feathered look or whatever. You don't want blunt ends. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure I had to address that because I know sometimes that can be a problem on the stylist side and on the client side. Trying to figure out, oh shoot, I done seen some braiders say do not trim your hair before you comb. And while I understand that, but I just don't want to encourage y'all just to keep waiting to trim it. If you can, if say you had just got a trim like maybe 2 months or 3 months ago and it's not like in critical condition, you probably could wait, but sometimes most of the time I just recommend go ahead and get it done before. And this is another thing I'm gonna tell you about getting a trim before you get your protective style or get it all braided up. If you're the type of person you don't like getting trimmed, you don't like seeing the hair getting trimmed off, go ahead and get it trimmed before you put it in protective style because it's about to be braided up or in that protective style for a couple of weeks anyway. So you ain't gonna have to look at your head. So that might be a little bit easier for some of y'all that's struggling with the trim. I'm just going to put that out there too because I had it happen to a client and she had to get a lot of hair trimmed off. And she said, Lisa, just go ahead and trim what you need to trim because she said, we about to put in crochet braids. I'm about to have these in for a month. So I ain't even going to be looking in it. And look, by the time you take it out, you can be done forgot. The hair done grew back in. Okay, so we are talking about all the things you need to address before you put in protective style. So now we're going to be talking about, oh, let me go back. So we talked about trimming before, and we also talk about the chronic dryness. Now, if your hair is like always dry, you haven't figured out like how to get your hair leveled out, I would say wait before putting in protective style. Don't even put it in, sis. Like, make sure you're upping your treatments and getting your hair healthy before you put it in. I would recommend doing a moisturizing treatment, a steam treatment, a deep conditioner before you put in protective style. And you want to know why you want to do this? It's because most of the time with this synthetic hair that we put in our hair, and some of y'all might be bougie, y'all might put the 100% human. At the end of the day, you still putting somebody else's hair in your head, and you're not going to be physically or able to get to your hair in the wild. So what we want to do is make sure our hair is nice and moisturized before we put it in so we can minimize breakage and shedding. And we already talked about shedding. We know that's going to happen. But we need to go ahead and moisturize and do our treatments before. Sometimes with some of my clients, I love to do like a protein treatment before they get box braids for the summer, crochet or whatever it might be, because I just want to give their hair the extra strength, especially if they're going to another stylist to get their hair braided, because some of these stylists don't care about y'all edges, okay? Some of these stylists don't care about your edges. They is gripping these edges, honey. Y'all are getting y'all going to get braids done, but y'all getting your eyebrows arched. I mean, y'all getting all that done just a second looking good, which I don't encourage that. But what I'm saying is, let's make sure our hair is at its strongest point. Like, I'm going to prepare you for whoever you about to go to, which I would imagine that y'all wouldn't go to somebody that's giving y'all an eyebrow arch with the braids. Hopefully they may be actually really giving y'all an eyebrow arch with the, with the thread or whatever you want to use, but they ain't doing it with the braids. So sometimes I recommend doing a protein treatment before, just to give your hair that extra strength. Even if you're going to somebody who you know is not going to pull your hair tight, I just think it's good to give your hair just them extra vitamins and nutrients before you put in a protective style. This can mean crochet, box braid, sew-ins, braided updos, whatever have you, okay? Just to give your hair that extra, okay? Or you can do, like I said, a steam treatment. And, oh, this all I'm gonna say. Now about this synthetic hair or human hair, especially synthetic hair, it has sometimes like a casting or like some a casting on these hair fibers. And synthetic hair is already going to, once it start rubbing up against your natural hair, it's going to naturally just dry it out in general. So we want to make sure, that's why I said make sure your hair is healthy and you get a treatment before you put in these things, because with that synthetic hair, and even if you get human hair and you getting sew in, you still got the thread that's going through the braid. So even that thread, that yarn, that's drying your hair out. So that's why I said make sure your hair is moisturized. After you do your treatment, whether you come to me or you do your treatment at home, make sure you use a leave-in conditioner. And I say find you like some kind of thick or creamy hair moisturizer to put on your hair when it's dry before you start to braid it down. Because like I said, we want to create a nice little barrier so our hair won't be as dry when we take it out. So I want to address that about some things you can do beforehand. And then I know a lot of these braiders saying come with it wash, come with it comb, detangle, all that. And this is another thing. Make sure, because I know some braiders request that you come with no product on your head, but I will say make sure you do your treatment at home or you go to a stylist and get your treatment done. And that way you can just go to her and you don't have to worry about it not having nothing on it, because you already did your treatments. More than likely the braider is going to put some kind of moisturizer on it, and which I do understand, because sometimes like if a client, when I used to be ghetto and do braids out my house, I used to like sometimes didn't like when clients caught themselves moisturizing their hair, and then the gel I would use would kind of conflict with it, and then you get that white cast. And so I kind of get it. But also, if you moisturize and do your treatments and your hair is healthy the way it needs to be, you can, blow dry your hair and blow dry your hair with the serum on it. But the serum should just be enough for your hair to be nice, shiny, and moisturized without putting no other kind of moisturizer on it. So Tracy Ann's in the building, Coach Haru's in the building, Acacia, the Smiles Tribe moderator is in the building. Did I say Tracy Ann? I'm over here washing dishes and I had to dry my hands to laugh. I don't get braids for that very reason. I need my edges. That's what they be doing, y'all. They be doing like, sis, you ain't got to get all of it. It's all right. It's all right. Because we done got to the point now where we tattooing baby hairs. We tattooing baby. We tattooing. Sidebar, my client was here today. One of my clients was here today, and she was like, Lisa, my Caucasian sisters, God bless y'all. I ain't talking about you if you watching though. But she was like, Lisa, did you see this trend on TikTok? She said now the Caucasians are saying, oh, sticky bangs. Cause you know how like now I try to do me a little baby hair. You know how like we like this, we like that. You got to stick the tongue out too. You know how we like to slick our baby hairs and stuff like that. Now, some people, their edges are challenged. So they can't do the whole slick down with the baby hairs like how we do. So now they have been created sticker tattoo baby hairs. Now, I don't get crazy with my baby hairs. Some people go all down. I don't do all that. And if you do that, that's your business. That is your business, honey. Own it. Be who you are. I ain't picking on you. Because to me, I'm an artist. And I'm sensitive about my period. Okay? So I get it. But they have ones that's like, y'all remember back in the day, like the tattoos that you can put on and you wet it and you take it off. You have the little tattoo thing. They doing it with the baby hairs. And so one of our Caucasian sisters, and the reason why I said our Caucasian sisters is out here talking about sticky bangs. Girl, there ain't no sticky bangs. Them baby hairs, them edges, honey. Them edges. I just had to put that out there talking about some sticky bangs. Can't have, we can't have nothing. We can't have nothing. That was my little rant for the night. But anyway, so let's get back to what we was talking about. Okay, I done lost my train of thought. We were talking about the protective styles, okay? Oh, I was talking about y'all edges. Everybody don't care about y'all edges, but I want y'all to care about y'all edges, okay? And if it's too tight, speak up and say something. But hey, that's too tight. You need to loosen that up, sis. Loosen that up. All right, loosen that up. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. All right. And more than likely, before anybody do y'all head, make sure they got edges. Make sure they got edges before they start doing your hair. Okay, look at your hairstyle. Now I got edges. Now y'all know I used to have edges because I used to have my hair shaped, but I got edges. So that's a testimony that if you come to me, you gonna have your edges. Glory to God. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So now let's move on to the next phase. The next phase is you having your protective style. Okay, you having your protective style. So now you have to maintain it. Just because you get the protective style, I mean you get to be lazy. Yes, you do get a little bit of slack because you're not actually combing and detangling your natural hair, but we still need to keep our scalps clean. Okay? Some of y'all, you scratch up there, you like, you gotta keep that scalp clean because y'all be sweating. Y'all be working out. You gotta keep it clean. Can't be up there with a musty scalp. We gotta keep it clean. So I have a video on my YouTube channel that just search how to refresh your braids and put LISASMILEZ and you'll see the video come up. I don't feel like repeating all that. But I got a video on how you keep your scalp clean, how you keep your braids refreshed while you have it in. I would encourage you to go watch that video. I think it's like 2 videos up there because I have one video when I had some cornrows and it's another video where I had knotless braids. I think it's about time for me to get some braids again. But yeah, when I had some braids. And I'll show you how to cleanse your scalp, how to keep it moisturized. So we want to keep our scalp clean still, even when we have braids in. Okay? We're not slacking. We still want to make sure we hydrated, drinking our water and all that while we have it in. And also, when we have our protective style, we still need to be wrapping it with a scarf. Some of y'all be like, oh, I ain't wrapping my hair. I ain't wrapping my hair tonight. Okay, go ahead and have a dry scalp. Go ahead and dry your hair out because you already know that synthetic hair rubbing on your hair is going to dry it out anyway. So can still continue to wrap your hair. Ooh, excuse me. Put on your scarf with my water. Put on your scarf. Still wrap the mans. Don't get slack. Okay, hey Divinity. Tracy Ann, hello Divinity. Hey Acacia, go Acacia. Hey Acacia, go Acacia. Hey Acacia, go Acacia. Hey Coach, let me be proper. You don't have to be proper. We can be ghetto tonight. Okay, because I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. So just y'all might not get no lives from me probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Y'all might not get no live from me probably until about Monday. But I got some videos in the chamber for y'all because I'm taking some time off. Okay. So yeah, Tracy Ann said, I feel I'm too old for baby hers. Yeah, baby hers. I tried to brush them edges down and I felt foolish. Tracy, you ain't too old to get no baby hers. Okay, now I can do it gracefully. Okay, because Miss Sarah, y'all see Miss Sarah on my page, the lady with the white silver hair. And let me tell you something. Don't get in my comments trying me on my short because somebody tried me today, but I did it in a nice way. But we want positivity in them comments, and I be checking what people be saying. Oh, her hair was beautiful when it was naturally curly. If you look on my page, I have videos where her hair is curly. And let's stop shaming people because they natural, but they want to wear their hair straight. Okay? Everything ain't for everybody. So before people decide to come in my comments and give their opinions, because I didn't ask you your opinion, I just posted the short, and yes, I'm going off. I just posted the short glorifying this lady beautiful silver hair. You know, you always gotta have somebody negative, but it got checked because I want to educate people to know that the whole goal of the short was to show how beautiful her silver gray hair is, how healthy it is, and how I'm maintaining it. So let's just make sure we got that in check, that long as your hair is healthy, and this is my thing, long as your hair is healthy, whether it's relaxed, whether it's straight, whether it's curly, loose, tight, if it's healthy, it's beautiful. Period. Whether you got locks, if it's healthy, it's beautiful, regardless. Okay. So people love to get that opinion. I love it when it was naturally. Ain't nobody ask you. Watch the short and keep it moving. Okay, so let's keep on moving. Okay, I got to get to the point of the video because I've been talking for how long? Okay, it don't matter. All right. Let's see, I got sidetracked. You see how devil tried to use me just that quick? Devil tried to use me that quick. But no, Tracy Ann, I have this lady, she comes to me and she's a little bit older. And she was just like, yeah, Lisa, I want like some little baby hairs. She said, well, no, you ain't gotta do it how y'all young folks do it. But I did it very gracefully. And she said, oh yeah, see, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. And I have her video coming up too, and I'm gonna post it on my. I need to edit. I'm gonna probably be editing some shorts over the weekend, but I'm gonna edit it so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, getting too old. It's just how you do it. All right, I know that's right. Miss Sarah hair is beautiful. Blocked, point blank, period. Okay, so let's get back to the point. So we done talked about why you have it in. Okay, so this is the whole point of the video, and it took me 22 minutes to get here. Somebody done already clicked off because they're like, this girl is up here running her mouth. What that means, you ain't for me, okay? You ain't for me because we gonna kiki, okay? And we gonna talk and we gonna get some little preliminaries. We're gonna go off, okay? So now we finally about to get to the point of the video. And if you're watching it replay and you got to the 22-minute mark and you still watching, put God bless you so I know you made it and you're a real one, okay? In the comments, not in the chat, but in the comments when you're watching on replay. Okay, so here's the whole point of the video. That's what Tony Gaskins be doing. He be like, Tony Gaskins be talking for a good 30 minutes. Him like, if you made it to this point, or if you made it to this point, put this. And he right though, because you really got to come and get that lesson in, because he gonna go off too. He gonna go off, okay? All right, so what do you need to do when you take out your protective style? The first thing you need to do is make sure when it's time for you to take out your protective style, you are not rushing. You are not rushing. I have seen so many times people are rushing when they take out their protective style because they have a hair appointment the next day and they end up cutting their hair. Especially like with crochet braids. It's so easy to cut your hair with crochet braids because you can't really see, even with box braids. So the first thing I want y'all to do is y'all need to plan this out. Okay, if you know you have a hair appointment coming up, you need to make time to make sure you're not rushing. Set aside some time. I know it's gonna be hard. I know like, girl, but I gotta work all week. You better find some time where you're not rushing. And the reason why I say that is because I see it so many times. People end up losing more hair rushing to take it down because it gotta be somewhere, gotta do something. They either end up cutting it or being too rough with their head because they rushing trying to take it down. So number one is make sure you got time, a lot of time to take it down. That's going to be very important because like I told y'all last night, natural hair is patience. And you have to realize that if you had this protective style a month, 2 months, or whatever, it's going to be matted. It's going to have buildup. I don't care. Me, I wash my braids every two and a half weeks when I have it in protective style. So even with me shampooing it, when it's time for me to take it out, I still do have buildup. This is part of the game because even though I do my little refresh, it's nothing like dipping your head back in that shampoo bowl and really getting a real shampoo. So take your time. You're going to have buildup. It's going to be matted. Second thing I'm going to tell you is detangle in sections. Take out your hair in sections. This is so important. Don't just be randomly taking out braids here and there. Don't do that because when you have it all out, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be like an overkill. It's gonna be an overload. You ain't gonna know where to start to detangling. So you might want to start with this section first. And this is a key, especially if you have knotless. A lot of y'all think when you take out knotless braids, y'all have like this little white little stuff. Sometimes it's build up from edge control, or it's just lint from you rolling around like on the, I don't know if y'all be rolling around the floor, but it's probably just lint, dirt, build up, sweat. It's not really pulling out your hair. I know some of y'all think like, oh, it poured out my hair. Most of the time it's not. It's just build up from sweat and stuff. So take your time. I have a video talking about how to properly to detangle your hair. Go back and watch that video and be ready to get a good kiki in, because I ain't gonna get straight to the point now. I'm a kiki now. All right, I'm a cut up. So take your time detangling. And as you take out a box braid, go ahead and detangle that. Don't wait till you got that whole section out. That's what be messing y'all up, because you like, girl, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I know you be tired, but take your time. So that's the first thing you want to thoroughly detangle. If you're having a hard time on something, spray some detangler spray. The rosemary spray is a good detangler. The coconut milk styling foam is a good detangler. All on my website. You can get these on my website. Take your time. And if you really having a hard time, you can spray that product on it, let it sit for a few minutes and kind of like rub it together, let it soften up, and then take your time taking it out. That's what you need to do. Because I had a client I had to take down. I normally don't do crochet takedowns, but because I had installed it, I took it down because I know how I do mine. But I don't be taking down other stylists' work because, first of all, it be taking me too long. I don't know how they do stuff, and I be having to find where they started at. It just be too much. So you go back to that hairstylist. I know that kind of sound a little mean, but I'm just being honest, okay? No, ma'am. And I think somebody had DM'd me or sent me an email today and asked, do I detangle matted natural hair? And you know what, I was honest when I said, unfortunately, I do not. I said, but I do offer products that help you detangle, because I do see some stylists, and the hats goes off to y'all because God is still working with me in that area, because I've been and gave up. I see some hairstyles on here that are detangling like it, and I'm not picking on these people. And if you want these people, I understand. I'm not picking on, I'm being serious right now. I know some people, they went through a lot, like mentally, and hadn't combed their hair in like a year and 2 years. And I know this is a sensitive topic, but I'm not the one to come to, because I have patience, but I don't know if I have that level of patience to spend like 6 and 7 hours detangling one head. I'm not there in my life, and I'm okay to admit that. So I don't know if that was that lady's situation, but I just immediately said no. And I think it was a new client too, so I was like, no. Now, granted, if it's one of my regular clients who come to me and, I've been doing their hair for years and I kind of know them and they kind of been through something, they need their service, I will offer it, because maybe I have history with the client, but I'm not going to even say I'm going to do that for a new person. I'm not going to put myself out there. But there are stylists that are trained and who can do that. And my hats goes out to those stylists, because that takes a whole level of patience, because my clients know me. I be fussing at my clients like I'm their mama, and some of them older than me. A lot of them older than me. And I'm like, girl, why didn't you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not there yet. I'm not there. So take your time. Tony said he goes on rants to weed out the bystanders and those with the spirit of bed the devil. Yes. Yes, honey. Yes, yes, yes. Bed the devil. And when he be saying something about, yeah, like people want to give 5-page dissertations. And I know dissertations. Ain't that with lawyers? I know I know dissertations is probably longer than that. But yeah, people used to give me 5-page dissertation on what they think about my website and girl, I ain't about to go back and forth with you. The price is the price is the price is the price is the price. Okay, you pay or leave. You pay or leave. Okay, period. So yeah, detangle. That's the second step I was gonna tell you about what you need to do when you take out a protective style. Now I done been talking 30 minutes and just hit on top on the second thing or the third thing. Okay? Psychologists. Oh, that's the ones who do the dissertations. Because ain't the dissertations, I need to do some research. Ain't the dissertations longer than that? That's what I thought. I don't know. So you want to make sure you detangle. After you detangle, you want to assess how much hair you have lost. Now, if you've been rushing, you might have 2 big handfuls of hair. And depending on the state your hair was in, before you put it in, you might have a whole lot of shed hair. Or you might have a whole lot of breakage. And see, here's the thing, and I say this a lot. On average, we typically lose or shed 50 to 150 strands per day. Per day. Okay? So, especially most of y'all who probably watch me are probably natural. You have natural hair. We're not combing our hair every day. The whole purpose of combing is so we can detangle it and release those shed hair. So if we're not doing it every day, we gotta think, if we done had this protective style, let's just say in our hair for a whole month, you gotta think you're not able to release that shed hair every day because it's in braids. So when it's time for you to detangle, after the braids come out, it's gonna come out. Okay, so don't get all your panties in the butt. Oh my gosh, I lost so much hair. There is a way to, detangle it properly so you won't lose as much. That's why I tell y'all to take your time to detangle it, because you are gonna lose some hair, but I don't want y'all to be losing excessive hair because you're rushing and you're not taking your time and you being rough. So that's the key thing. And so I had to be patient with my client the other day because and I was actually surprised. She actually had kept hers in a week longer than what she normally have it in, because she normally only keep it 6 weeks, and she shampoos hers in between. But she actually kept it for 7 weeks, and I was just like, it's just a difference on what that week made, because she was like, yeah, Lisa, I don't remember us having like it taking this long to take it out. I said, yeah, I don't know what it was about that 1 week, but it made a big difference. But I took my time and I took it out and I made sure I thoroughly detangled it. And the reason why you want to do this is because before you go to that bowl, if you do not detangle your hair, you're going to be like, you know what? Just cut it off. Because it's going to be a mess. It's going to be mad and it's going to be a mess. Tashara said, I just knew I was fired when you detangled my locks. Oh, let's talk about, but Tashara, your locks wasn't that, Tashara, yeah, you had me working that day. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna even hold you to it. Yeah, you had me working that day. But we got through it. We kikied and we got through it. And I kind of knew what to expect because I hadn't seen you in a while. This is another thing I was gonna say about locks, because they can get tangled too. And you know what, Shara? You actually was doing it right, because yours probably could have been worse if you hadn't been what you doing. So my client up here, I hope she don't mind, because you don't comment it, so obviously you don't mind. You done put your name out there, okay? So my client, I hadn't seen her in a while, and she has locks, and Tashara has beautiful, thick, gorgeous hair, okay? Gorgeous hair, gorgeous locks. And so what she would do is she would go through and pull apart her locks. And she actually had me laughing, because she was like, yeah, Lisa, I feel like I can't live my life, because I went to dinner with a friend, and I forgot what you said, what y'all was trying to do after, when she was like, no, girl, I got to go home. You was thinking in your head, you had to go home because your hair about to tangle back up, because you had to go home and pull apart your locks. But see, that was something, I'm so glad you did that, because hadn't you did that, now we really would have had a mess. I would have been like, girl, come back another day. I ain't got it in me. But this is another thing. If you have locks, especially when they're thick and you going like a long time in between your retwists, yes, I would recommend go in there and kind of pull them babies apart. Because let me tell you something about this natural hair. It will get comfortable if you have locks. Some things will start to mat together. So you might have to like run your fingers through them and kind of pull them apart at the base, especially if you have thick hair. If you have thick hair, you got very dense hair, you better do that, because man, and especially if you are let's just say you are shampooing your locks, like maybe in between going to your stylist or whatever, and you maybe don't know how to retwist, sis, you better make sure that, oh, excuse me, even though you ain't retwisting them, you might shampoo them or whatever, but make sure you are pulling things apart. Keep them separated, okay? Maybe even do, I told my client when we had the pandemic and, I couldn't do hair, I was telling my clients who had locks, I was like, Lisa, I don't know how to retwist my hair. I was like, do you know how to do a dookie braid? Do you know how to do a 2-strand twist? I said, well, when you I don't like to say wash. I said, when you shampoo your hair, put it in 2-strand twists all over. And then let sit up and dry, let them dry, untwist it, and then your locks can be curly or wavy. I was just trying to help them do something so their locks wouldn't match together. And praise God that work. I ain't had too much of a disaster with my clients who were locked. So I kind of got off subject, but it's all in the subject because yeah. Okay, so yeah, if you don't do that, your hair gonna be matted before you shampoo. So you want to assess how much hair you're losing. If your hair feels very weak and fragile, I would say go in with a protein treatment. Okay, go. You can either buy it out the I know Sally's has one called, I think, Apple G. It's a good in-home protein treatment you can get off Amazon too. Link will be in the bio when I get done. Or schedule to get a protein treatment from a stylist. Now, I would highly recommend that you go to a stylist and get the protein treatment because it's going to be better quality than what you get at Sally's. But if Sally's is all you can afford right now and you can't get to a salon, get the Apple G. I would recommend the Apple G protein treatment because I've used that before. Now, I'm going to go ahead and worry about with the Apple G protein now treatment. It's going to make your hair real hard. Okay, it's gonna make your hair real hard. It's gonna be stiff. Don't be alarmed. That's what it's supposed to do. So after you rinse out your protein treatment, they also have it comes like it's like a 2-step, and then it comes with like a moisture treatment, and you can do that. And yes, Coach Rule, that's that old school. It stinks. That's another thing. That thing stink. It stinks. But if you just need to do something in the meantime and you can't get to a stylist, do that. But my number one thing, I would say get to a stylist and get a protein treatment, especially if you know you was real rough with your hair with taking out your braids and you feel like you got a lot of breakage. I would say protein treatment. If your hair still feels pretty strong and it's just dry, you'll probably be good with doing moisturizing treatment, which is a steam treatment or a deep conditioner. You want to do that because you have to think your hair has been these braids and it's protected style for like a month, 2 months. And here's another thing. I want to get on protected styles, y'all. Let go and let God. Let go and let God, y'all. I know y'all be trying to get y'all money's worth. But sis, 6 to 8 weeks. 8 weeks max. That's about 2 months. That's the absolute max. Y'all, I know y'all trying to get y'all money. Let it go. You can get it done again. God gonna make a way again for you to get them braids again. You ain't gotta hold on to them for dear life. It's okay. Even if you only wear it for a month, it's okay. Let go and let God. Your hair needs nourishment. Nourishment. Okay? We're not about to be keeping in these styles 3 months. We're not. Because it seems like sometimes the longer we keep them in, we just get lazier and lazier. And what I typically see it, people who keep it in that long, they ain't doing nothing to their hair anyway. So let's try to tone it down. God gonna make a way. You can get them braids again. You can get them again. So that's what I would recommend. The other thing I would recommend after you take it out is let your hair breathe. Oh, I can't say this enough. That's probably one of the important things. Let that natural hair breathe. Our hair needs that oxygen. So when it's braided up, even when you got box braids, your scalp does, still get some air. I know with crochet, it's a little bit harder for that, oxygen to really get down into that scalp. But when you take it out, let your hair breathe. And I think I got a question on this on one of my lives. I think So hey, so if you're watching replay, cause I know you're watching replay, had asked how much time should we wait in between getting a protective style. And I know some of y'all be wanting to have a quick turnaround. Some people can just took out a crochet night before, and you might be going to go get a crochet in the morning. Now, if you're watching this video and replay, you're like, Lisa, I already got my appointment in the morning. Okay, go ahead. But I'm just letting you know now, I would not recommend that. Do not turn around and then get another protective style. Your hair need to breathe and rest. Okay, I would say at the minimum 2 weeks if you just absolutely had to. Like I got an event coming up, and be intentional when you get your protective styles. Like, plan it out. Because some people might be like, well, I got a wedding to go to, or well, I'm going out of town, well, I'm doing this, well, I'm going on a trip. Okay, plan out your protective style. But like, okay, well, if I say you're going on vacation in July, okay, it's March. You about to get protective style. Okay, let's say you keep it for 2 months, March, April, May. Okay, May to maybe about May to, yeah, I would say let your hair rest before you put it back in July. You know what I'm saying? Could you get another, no, you might be cutting it close. Yeah, so make sure you time it right. In case you have an event coming up or something you want your hair to be, make sure you time it right where your hair has that rest. Okay, really and honestly, and also this depends on the health of your hair. If you took out them braids or their protective style and you notice that you have even more damage, you need to wait at least a month or two. And it depends on how severe the damage is. Sometimes I say, no, you need to go a couple of months without putting nothing in your head. You need to go a couple of months. So it really just depends on the health of your hair when you take it out and how do you take care of it. So let's just keep that in mind. So we always want to make sure we're doing these treatments before and after. Before and after. And also, this will be another good time if, like, say you didn't get a trim before you put it in. Go ahead and get that trim when you take it out. Okay, you're going to have to get that trim. Y'all can't be ducking and diving and dancing around these trims. You got to get that hair trim, okay? But my recommendation is so you won't have to think about it, because I know how black women trauma is with getting your hair trimmed. I just say get it done before, because out of sight, out of mind, you can have them braids. Y'all can be swinging on the beach and thinking y'all cute with your box braids or whatnot. So go ahead and get it beforehand so you ain't got to think about it. Get the trim before you get your crochet, before you get your braids, before you get your weave, because you're going to have somebody else's hair in your head anyway. So go ahead and do that. So let's see, was there anything else I missed about when you take it out? Yeah, so those are the main things. So let's do a recap. I ain't writing nothing down, so we're going off the dome. Recap. What do you need to do when you take out your protective style? Number one was making sure you have enough time to take it out so you're not rushing. That's number one. Number two was take your time detangling your hair. Do not rush. Take your time. Take it out in sections. Number three is assess how much hair you lost. Were you being rough with taking down your protective style? Were you taking your time? Was your hair already damaged before you took it out? And so now you need some more treatment. So you can need a protein treatment, or you can need a steam treatment. So yeah, what's that for? Yeah, assess your hair. No, 3, assess how much hair. 4 is get you a treatment. Okay, regardless. Everybody gonna need a treatment. Everybody need a treatment when you take it out. I don't care how healthy your hair is. You gonna need a treatment when you take it out. Okay. Number 5 is trim if needed. And number 6 was let that hair breathe. Okay, let that hair breathe. That's what you need to do. Let your hair breathe and give your hair a reset. That's what you need to do. Let's see if I missed anything in the comments. I can't go past 4 weeks. Did 6 weeks and was like, oh no. Some of my clients can't go past 4 weeks. I think you have locks, Coach Haru. Yeah, some of my clients, they come about once a month with lockery twists, and it kind of varies. And another thing I was gonna say too, since I'm talking about locks, is I want to talk about interlocking. I don't know if some of y'all know what interlocking is, but interlocking is another way to tighten locks where we take a latch hook and we kind of take like the end of the lock and knot it through the base and kind of give it a knot. So that's what we call interlocking. And I would encourage you not to be doing interlocking every month. Don't do it excessively because it will thin out your locks. It will thin out your locks. So be careful with interlocking your locks. They don't have nothing to do with protective styles, but that's just a little gem I'm gonna just give y'all because y'all watching. All right, let go and let God. So do we have any questions about what to do when you take out your protective style? Yeah, so I want to talk about tonight. And I got some good content that I'm going to be dropping for y'all over the next couple of days. I'm going to try to get some things edited maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow or something like that. You know, I'm going to try to take a break. Try. The goal was to have all my content scheduled and ready to go while I'm gone, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I might have to be doing some of this while I'm on the road, but we'll see. But I don't mind editing YouTube videos. I actually enjoy that. I actually do enjoy that. It don't feel like work to me. So yeah, I enjoy doing that. So yeah. So is there anything else I want to say about protective style? I think that was pretty much it. If y'all watching a replay and you have any questions about protective styles, drop them in the comments and I'll reply back. Here and there. But yeah. So that's all I have for y'all tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining this live and getting these gems, getting these kikis in with me. You know what I'm saying? Tracy ain't saying she don't wear protective styles. Okay, well, Tracy, that's fine. But you got the gems just in case if you ever wanted to wear a protective style. And one other thing I was gonna say, protective style don't always mean it has to be weave added to. I would say that too. Because I think with me, I know I'm guilty of this. When I think of protective style, I'm always thinking about like braids, like with extensions or crochet or sew-ins. But a protective style can also mean just with your natural hair too. Your natural hair, meaning like you can get your hair all braided up into a bun, or you can get your hair all twisted up into like a style, like a flat twist style, something where you don't really have to actually manipulate it every day. That's really what I classify a protective style is. So I just want to make that clear. It don't always mean braids, but the reason why I'm addressing this because most of the time when I hear people get protective style, it's something they're keeping in for weeks. Obviously, if you're getting something done with your natural hair and it's braided up into a bun or or flat twist into a ball, more than likely you probably wearing it 2 to 3 weeks and you taking it out anyway. So you might not have as severe breakage and damage as it would be if you're getting something with extensions. So I just want to make that clear because Tracy, you said that comment and it made me think about it. So yeah, I hope this information helps somebody. If it do, share it out with a friend. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye. About to go get some sleep.